Shabbos, everyone. We're ready to begin our service this morning. And we're honored today to have our bar and bat mitzvah wear a talit. And first we'll call upon Adam and Robin to present a talit to their son Asher.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu latativ batzitzi.
Amen. And now I call upon Ryan and Heidi to present a talit to their daughter Shira. And this talit in particular has a lot of meaning. It was Ryan's grandfather Willie Isaac's talit. May he rest in peace, and may his memory continue to be for a blessing today as his talit is now passed down to Shira at her bat mitzvah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef betzitzi.
Amen. And we're now ready to begin our service. And we can open up our Sidurim, Siddur Lev Shalem. And we turn to page 157. And there, Kenner Goldman will begin the Shacharit portion of our service, page 147.
שוכן על מרום וקדוש שמור וכתוב רנינו צדיקים אדוני לישרים נבטלה בפי ישרים תתהלל ודברי צדיקים תתברך ובלשון חסידים תתרומם ובקרב קדושים תתקדש ובמחלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל בעיני באש שמך מכן בכל דור ודור שכן לא חובל כל היצרים לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לאדון לשבח ולרומם להדר לברך להלל וכלס על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות דוד בן ישי עבדך משיחך ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו.
Page 148.
ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול בתשבחות אל ההודות אדון הנפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלך מלכי העולמים.
And please rise, page 148.
Shemek Rabba Amen Beyama Divrach Hirute Veyamlich Malchut He Behayachon Uvyom Echon Uvhayadechol Beit Yisrael Ba'akala Uvizman Kariv Ve'imeru Amen Ba'akala Uvizman Kariv Ve'imeru Amen Amen Yeheshmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olam Me'omaya Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yipar Ve'yirom Ve'imeru amen. Ve'imeru amen.
Amen. Page 149, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamivorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Yotzer Or Uvarei Hoshech Osei Shalom Uvarei et Hakol.
Please be seated now. In the canon will be continue towards the bottom of page 150.
אין כרך אדוני אלוהינו בעולם הזה, ואין זילותך מלכינו לחיי העולם הבא. אפס ביתך גולי לראות המשיח, ואינו מלך המושיענו לתחיית המתים.
Page 151.
אל אדון על כל המעשים, ברוך ומבורך בפי כל נשמה, גודלו וטובו מלא עולם, דעת ותבונה סובבים אותו, המתגאה חיות הקודש, ונדר בכבוד על מרכבו, זכות ומשול לפני כיסו, חסד ורחמים לפני כבודו, טובים מאורות שברא אלוהינו, יצרם בתעד בינה ובשכל, כוח וגבורה, נתן בהם להיות מושלים בקרב תבל, מלאים זיו ומפיקים לו גנאי זימון, וכל העולם שמחים בצאתם, וששים בבואם, עושים באימה רצון קונם, פאר וכבוד נותנים לשמוע, זוהר ורינה לזכר מלכותו, קרא אל השמש ויזרחו, ראה וקדקין גבורת הלבנה, שבח נותנים לו, כל צבאות תפארת וגדולה, שרפים ואופנים וחיות הקודש. Page 152. לאל אשר שבכל המעשים. תתברך מושיענו שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית ברוך הסלע. Page 153. תתברך צורינו מלכינו וגואלנו. כולם אחובים, כולם ברורים, כולם גיבורים, וכולם עושים במעל ברצון קונם, וכולם פותחים את פיהם בקדושה וטהרה, בשירה ובזמרה ובזמרה, בשירה ובזמרה ובזמרה, מברכים שבחים ומפרים ומריצים ומקדישים וממליכים את שם האל המלך הגדול הגיבור והנורא קדוש הוא, וכולם מקבלים עליהם עול מלכות שמיים זה מזה, ונותנים רשות זה לזה להקדיש עצמם בנחת רוח בשפה ברורה ועמה קדושה, כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים ביראה, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו, ואופנים וחיות הקודש ורעש גדול מתנסים למסם שרפים לעומתם ושבחים ואומרים ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקום למול לארוך ניתן אור חדש על ציון, על ציון תאיר ונזכה page 154, Ahava Rabbah. Ahava Rabbah Aftanu Adonai Eloheinu Chem Lagedola V'Tera Chamalta Aleinu Avinu Malkeinu Bavur Avoteinu Shabbat Chovecha Shabbat Chovecha Avinu Malkeinu ותלמדם חוקי חיים, כן תכוננו תלמדנו, אבינו האב הרחמן, המרחם רחם עלינו, ותן בליבנו להבין ולהזכיר לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות. והארנו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך ויוחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראת שמך לא נמוש לעולם ועד הגדול והנורא בתחנו נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו כל מיעוט לארצנו כי ישות אתה ובנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת להודות לך ויחדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשיתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו לכם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף את ירתכם והיה לכם ציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מיתות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריכם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Page 157. לדור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים וכיסו נכון למלכותו באמונתו ליד קיימת. אמת שטחו אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, גוליל גבורתנו, יוצרי נצור ישועתנו, פורינו מצילה מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך, עזרת אבותינו תחול מעולם.
Uvnei Yisroel, lecha anu shira, besimcha rabba, ve'amru hulam. Mi hamo haba elim Adonai, mi hamo hanedar bakodesh, nora tehilot, osei fele. Shira hadasha, shipuge ulim, leshimha, al sifatayam, yahad hulam, hodu vehilu, ve'ameru, Adonayim lo, le'olam va'ed.
Please rise. Page 158.
Zur Israel, Chumai Bezrat Israel, Wafdei Chinomecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael, Ko Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Israel, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Israel.
We now continue together, page 159.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Hastei Avot, Umevi Goel Lifnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Ve'ah. Melech Hazer Ufoked Umoshiach Umagen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mehaye Metim Ata, Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv Harua, Umarid Hagashem, Mehalkel Hayim Behesed, Mehaye Metim Berachamim Ramim, Somech Noflim Verofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamel Chabal Gevurot, Umidom Elah, Yeshua, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. Baruch atah Adonai Mehayeh HaMetim.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו וישמעי ברוב, ככתוב ביד נביאך, וכרזה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אז בקול רעש גדול נדיב וחזק משמיעים קול, אז בקול רעש גדול נדיב וחזק משמיעים קול, מתנשאים לעומת שרפים, מתנשאים לעומת שרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ממקומך מלכנו תופיע, ממקומך מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון, וקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון, תתקדש ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור ולנצח נצחים, ועינינו תראינה מלכותך, הדבר כאמור בשירי עוזך, על ידי דוד משיח צדקך, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה.
Ledor vador, ledor vador,
Ledor vador nagid gad lecha, Ledor vador, Ledor vador,
ledor
Vadir
vador,
nagid gad lecha, Ulenetza netzahim, Ulenetza netzahim, Kedushatecha nakdish, Veshivchat ha'Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Ledor vador nagid gad lecha, Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Ledor vador nagid gad lecha, Ki el melech gadol, gadol vekadosh, gadol vekadosh atah, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We now continue silently, page 162 through page 166. As you finish your prayers, you may be seated as the cantor continues with the Kaddish Shalem, page 167.
בעלמתי ורקירותי, והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון ומכון ובחייכו בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבא מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתעשה, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי לקודשה. בריחו לילה מתלבר חצה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. תתקבצו לתחון ובתנחו ישראל, הודם אף נביא שמיה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שם רבה משמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו amen.
And now we reach page 168, our Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our Torah service for this morning. And I invite all those who have an honor during our Torah service this morning, an ark opening or an aliyah, to please come sit over here, if you're not already, in this section of our sanctuary, so our Gabbim can find you at the appropriate times during our service this morning. And also a reminder for all of us, just make sure to silence your cell phones as we go through our service this morning. And we're now ready to begin, page 168, Ein Kamocha.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בחדור ובדור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אבל רחמים היטיב ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים. כי בכל לבד בטחנו, מלך ערום ונישא, אדון עולמים.
Please rise.
ויהי בצהרון ויאמר משה כל מה אדוני ויפוצו אויביך וינוסו משנאיך מפניך כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני ותפתח ליבי באורייתא, ותשלים משאלים דליבי, וליבד דכל עמך ישראל, לטוב ולחיים ולשלום. אמן.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema. God Haiti uneromema shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai הגדול והגבור, בתפארת וחנץ החול. כי יכול בשמיים ובארץ, כי יכול בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני המלאכה, ומתנשא לכל ראש.
And please be seated. And now we can take out our Eitz Chaim, the larger books in front of you, our Torah and commentary. And we turn to page 168. And for our Torah portion this morning, we'll begin at the very beginning of Vayetze. Here's the story of Jacob. He leaves Beersheba. He's on his own. He's running from his brother. And now he's going to establish his line. But before he can do so, he has an encounter with God, an unusual encounter. You've heard of Jacob's ladder before. This is the story. And what does he see? And what is this vision of angels going down and up a ladder up to heaven? How does this change Jacob as he now goes on from a youth running from his brother Esau to a husband and a father? Page 166, Parshat Vayetze.
ויעזור ויגם יושיע לכל הכסים בו ונאמר אמן הכל כבוד גדול אלוהינו בנו כבוד תורה יעמדו ראשון ברוך שנתן תורה לעם ישראל בקדושתו ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים לכם היום.
For the first Aliyah, we call Shira's parents, Heidi and Ryan Kagan. Ryan will be our reader, and as the Rabbi mentioned, we're on page 166, verses 10 through 12.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayatze Yaakov mivar Shava, vayalech harana, vayagef b'makom, vayalin sham kivo hashemesh, vayikach me'av hamakom, vayasim ershotav, vayishka b'makom hahu, vayachalem, vahina silam matzav artza, verosho magia hashamayma, vahini malachei Elohim, Elohim Olim Berodim Bo.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Yamdu Sheni.
For the second Leon, we call uncles Kevin Burke and Jared Burke, together with grandmother Esther Burke. We're now on page 166, verses 13 through 17. The readers are Beth Sharon Balkore, Rabbi Danny Horwitz.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarak Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'hinei Adonai nitzav alav, vayamar ani Adonai, Elohei Avraham avicha v'Elohei Yitzchak haaretz, asher ata shochev aleha, l'cha ednena l'zarecha, v'yazarecha kafar haaretz u'faratztaha, yam avaked mevitzafon v'negba, v'nivrechu v'chaha, kol mishpachot ha'adama u'zarecha, V'nei anochi imach, u'shmarticha b'chol asher telech v'ashivoticha el ha'adama hazot, ki lo e'ezovcha ad asher imasiti et asher dibarti lach, v'yikatz Yaakov mishnato v'yomer, achein yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati, v'yirav v'yomar, Manora makom hazeh ein zeki im beit Elohim v'zeh shar hashamayim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So we just read that Jacob woke up from his dream with the stairway to heaven, and he said, wow, this is a holy place. This is the house of God. I had no idea. He'd gone to sleep at a place in the middle of the desert somewhere, woke up and realized it was a holy place. So there's two ways to understand this. Some of our sages didn't like the idea that there were unknown places. They had to be specifically identified as a special place that we know about. And so following that line of thinking, it's sort of like there's a portal, right? Like a wormhole that goes directly to God. And the opening to the portal is on certain places in the earth. And if you can find the right place on earth, you can be transported into God's presence. And the two most famous such portals in the Jewish tradition are the Temple Mount, where we would offer sacrifices and our prayers up to God, right? So that's one portal. And the other one, of course, is Mount Sinai, where God transported down to us God's wisdom about how to live a good life with the Ten Commandments and the other commandments. So we've got these two portals that are known in Jewish history, and our sages, in interpreting this verse, one of them said, well, this is Mount Sinai that he stopped on, the place that's going to become Mount Sinai. And the other version is, no, he stopped at a place that's going to become the Temple Mount. But there's another way of interpreting it, that it isn't a specially designated place. In fact, it was any place. And the idea is that any place we want can be a portal to God. We just have to open the portal up ourselves. And what Jacob didn't realize was it wasn't necessarily the place that was special, it was his openness to the presence of God. So 3 different ways to understand that particular passage.
Yom Shlishi.
For the third layer, we call Asher's very proud parents, Adam and Robin Burke. The reader is Sister Riley. We're on page 168, verses 18 through 22.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai. Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayashkem Yaakov baboker. Vayikra et ha'evan asher sam mirashotav. Vayasem otah matzeva. Vayitzok shemen al rosha. Vayikra et Shem hamakom hahu be'el ve'ulam lu Shem ha'ir larishona vayidar Yaakov neder lemor im yeh Elohim imadim ushmarani baderech hazeh asher anochi cholech v'natan li lechem Le'echol uveged lilbosh Veshavti v'shalom el bei avi V'haya Adonai li Elohim V'ha'even hazo asher samti ma'tzeva Yeh be'Elohim V'chol asher tinten li Aser a'asrenu lach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayeh olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yom Revi'i.
For the fourth layer, we call Asher's grandparents, Sally Silverberg, Mark Silverberg, and Julie Berry. We're now on page 169. New chapter, chapter 29, verses 1 through 8.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayisa Yaakov ragla v'yelech artza b'nei kerem v'yar v'hinei berba sadeh v'hinei sham shosha edroid stone rotzim aleha ki mina be'er ahi yashku adarim v'evan gedol al pi habe'er v'nesu shama kol adarim v'galalu et ha'evan me'al pi habe'er v'ishku et hatzon v'heshivu et ha'evan al pi habe'er limkoma v'yomer lahem Yaakov achai mehayin atem v'yomeru mecharan anachnu v'yomer lahem hayadatem et Lavan ben Achor v'yomeru yadanu v'yomer lahem hashalom lo v'yomeru shalom v'nei Rachel bito ba'im hatzon v'yomer en od hayom gadol lo eida Yosef amikneh Yashku atzon ulechud ve'u v'yomeru lo nuchal ad asher yasvu kol adarim v'galalu ad ha'evan me'al pi habe'er v'yishkeinu atzon.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayeh olam natan bechoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yamdu Chamishi.
For the fifth Aliyah, we call Shira's grandparents, Sharon and Arnie Kagan. We're on page 170, verses 9 through 17.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Oden v'daber imam v'rachel ba. Imatzona shel Yaviaki roahi vayehi kasher ra Yaakov et Rachel bat Lavan achimo v'yetzon Lavan achimo vayigash Yaakov vayagel et even me'al pi ha'be'er vayash ketzon Lavan achimo vayishak Yaakov leRachel vayisa et kolo vayef Vayaged Yaakov leRachel ki achi aviahu v'chi ben Rivkahu v'atorz v'tekeli aviha vayhi ki shmo Lavan et shema Yaakov ben achoto vayaret zikrato vaychavek lo vayanashek lo vayaviyehu el beito vayasaper leLavan et kol advarim ha'ileh Vayomer lo Lavan achatzmi v'sariyata Vayeshev imo chodesh yamim Vayomer Lavan liYaakov achi achi ata Vavaratani chinam Hagidali mama skurtecha Ulelavan shtei banot Shem hagdol aleya V'shem hakatana Rachel V'nei leya rakot V'Rachel aita yefat toar V'ifat mareh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. We'll now do a prayer for those who are ill in our congregation, their family and friends. If you would like to add a name to the list, please come forward. I have a list here of names that I will read as well. Mi sheberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivrech v'peh cholim ha'eleh. May the God of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, grant blessing and healing to the following members of our congregation, their family, and friends. Amir ben Raphael Vidvora, Aaron Chaim ben Yosef Basho Michlev, Avram Yitzchak ben Chaim, Beryl ben David, Daniel bat Noga, David ben Basha, Emmanuel ben Yafa, Gittel Leah bat Devora Ruth, Hannah bat Avraham v'Sarah, Hannah bat Sarah, Hindel Cyril bat Esther, Yaakov David ben Gittel, Leah bat Leah, Leah Malka bat Sivia Sima, Leah Rachel bat Malka Sarah, Liba bat Malka, Mecha David ben Chaya Freda, Miriam bat Chaya Leah, Miriam bat Rachel, Misha Chaya bat Hannah Edka, Mordechai ben Bluma Rachel, Ora bat Esther, Pesach ben Bela, Rachel bat Liba, Reuven Ephraim ben Razel, Rivka Rachel Leah bat Sarah Rauna, Shalom Yaakov ben Tuba, Shmuel ben Devorah Bela, Shulamit bat Buna Razel v'Eliezer, Yaakov ben Eliezer v'Shoshana, Yankel Kopel ben Sarah, Scott Birnbaum, Paul Bryant, Rona Caress, Brenda Chan, Sabrina Clubb, Marla Davidoff, David Danberg, Harvey Freeberg, Jan Myrna Gardner, Nellie Ora Garson, Charles Goldberg, Felicia Goldberg, Bill Granick, Michelle Greenberg, James Hampton, Virginia Hattenbach, Abigail Rose Hirschfeld, Jimmy Lass, Dick Lensner, Yvonne Levine, Harry Melnick, Beth Pakun, Marcia Pappert, Gabrielle Peretz, Danielle Pierno, Shirley Rich, Steve Davis Rosenbaum, Charisse Fallis Sands, Julie Scheinthal, Hope Schultz, Phyllis Selzer, Jerry Shanock, Diane and Richard Shapiro, Esther Schubitz, Larry Silver, Franz Spector, Debbie Stein, Guillermo Vasquez, Sylvia Danberg Volpe, and
Lori Sender, Alex Shields.
Reza Devora, Avram Fischel.
Josefa bat Miriam, Miriam bat Freda, Keith Phillips, Annie Beck, Brittany Williams.
ואת שאר החולים בקהילה הקדוש הזו, קדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, להחזיקם לרפאתם, וישלח להם מהירה רפואה שלמה בבני השמיים, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף, בתוך שאר כל ישראל, שבת היא מלזוק ורפואה קרוב לבוא, השתה והגל הזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן.
Amen. Yom Shishi.
For the sixth Aliyah, we call Shira's aunts and uncles, Melanie and Dan Spelkin, Julian and Evan Davis. We're on page 171, chapter 29, verse 18, through chapter 30, verse 9.
Et Adonai Hambarach. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vayehav Yaakov et Rachel vayomer Evarcha sheva shanim b'Rachel bitcha ktana. Vayomer Lavan tov titi ota lach mititi ota leish acher sheva imade. Vayavod Yaakov Rachel sheva shanim vayuvyeinav k'yamim achadim b'avotota. Vayomer Yaakov Lavan hava et eshti himalu yamai va'avo eleha. Vayasof Lavan et kol anshe hamakom vayas mishteh vayi va'erev vayikach et Leah bito vayavei ota elaha vayavo eleha vayitein Lavan la et zilpa shivchato leLeah bito shivcha vayi vaboker v'hinei Leah vayomer Lavan mazot asita li halo v'Rachel avarti mach v'lam madri mitani. Vayomer Lavan lo yasech ein bimkomenu latet atzira lifnei habchira malei shavu azot v'nitna lecha gam et zot ba'avoda asher tavod imadi ot sheva shanim acherot vayas Yaakov ken vaymalei shavu azot v'yiten lo et Rachel bito lo leisha vayiten Lavan Rachel bito et Bilhah shivchato la leshivcha vayavo gam el Rachel Vayehav gam et Rachel me Leah, vayavod imo sheva shanim acherot, vayar Adonai gisnu ad Leah, vayiftach et Rachma v'Rachel akara, vatar Leah vateled ben batikra shemo Ruven, ki amra, hira Adonai b'anyi, ki ata yevan ishi, vatarod, vateled ben, vatomer, Ki shama Adonai gisnu anochi v'yitein li gam etzeh v'tikra shemo Shimon v'taharod v'teled bein v'tomer ata pam yelavei ishi elai ki yelarti lo shlosha banim al ken kara shemo Levi v'taharod v'teled Ben vatomer apam odet Adonai al ken krashmo Yehuda vata amod miledet vatera Rachel kilo yalda Yaakov vat kanei Rachel bachota vatomer el Yaakov havali vanim v'im ayin meta anochi vayicharaf Yaakov Rachel vayomer atachet Elohim anochi asher mana mimech b'rivaten Vatomer, hine amati Bilhah ba'eleha, vateleda b'dekai v'baneh gam anochi mimena, vatiten lo et Bilhah shivchata leisha, vayavo eleha Yaakov, vatar Bilhah vateled Yaakov ben, vatomer Rachel danani Elohim, v'gam shama b'koli, vayiten li ben, al ken kara shama dan, Vatar od vatil b'chashivchat Rachel ben sheni liYaakov vatomer Rachel naftulei Elohim niftalti imachoti gam yacholti vatikra shemo Naftali vater Leah ki omda miledet vatikach et zilpa shivchata vatiten ota leYaakov leisha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
יעמוד, יעמוד, יעמוד בר מצווה, איתן חיים בן שלמה ורחל, חזק חזק ונתחזק.
Right, all up your tzitzit, one of them.
Asher's reading is on page 176, verses 10 through 13.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vateled Zilpah Shifhat Le'Yaakov Bain, Vatomer Leah Ba God, Vatigra Et Shemo God, Vateled Zilpah Shifhat Leah Bain Sheni Le'Yaakov, Vatomer Leah Ve'ashri Ki Ish Runi Banot, Vatigra Et Shemo Asher. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We rise for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך ירצה וימליך מלכותי, בחיי כל יום אחד, ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולם ועמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשם. בריחו לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דל מירן ועלמה ויאמרו אמן.
Please be seated.
תעמוד, 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 בת מצווה, שירה בת רון וגלעדה, חזק חזק ונתחזק.
Shira's Mafta reading is on page 187, chapter 32, verses 1 through 3.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayashkem Lavan baboker, Vayenashek levanav, Velivnotav, Vayevarech ethem, Vayelech, Vayashov Lavan limkamo, Vayakov chalach ledarko, Vayivka uvo malachei Elohim. Vayomer Yaakov kasheram mahane Elohim, vayikra Shem hamakom hahu Mahanayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yam du amad bivagalel.
To lift the Torah, Asher's great uncle David Cooper. To dress, Shira's dad, Ryan Kagan. Please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל באדוני ויד משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 tzivah lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tzivah lanu Moshe.
What a beautiful day this has been for Adam and Robin as they've seen their son Asher become a bar mitzvah. And now, before the open ark, they offer their parents' prayers.
Dear God, thank you so much for choosing us to be Asher's parents. He has brought more joy and happiness to us than he could ever know, and more spunk than we ever knew we needed. Asher, ever since you were a baby, I've always told you you have the biggest heart of anyone I know. You're compassionate, generous, kind, and honest, sometimes brutally honest. You have a strong sense of right and wrong, and beyond that, Asher, you have the courage to stand up for your beliefs. You will make a difference in the world because of that courage and passion. You will see that the world is not always fair, but do what you can to make it better. Do not let others influence you from what you feel and know to be right in your big heart. Always believe in yourself like Daddy and I believe in you. We hope that you always know that no matter what problems you face, you will always have help, support, and love from Daddy and me. We hope that you find something you're passionate about and follow your own path. Use your talents to do something that will make a difference. Be you, Asher. Never lose track of who you are and what you're capable of accomplishing. Remember to live each day to the fullest. Get the most from each day of your life. Then you'll be able to look forward with confidence and look back without any regrets. Look for something good in each day and each person. Asher Preston, my only son, I pray for you to continue to grow to be strong in body and in mind. I pray that you will stay humble and kind, and that you will use that big heart of yours to continue to love and be passionate about your beliefs. I will hope that you always will feel the love of your family and friends that are here with you today, and that you will never forget how much I love you and how very proud I am of you.
Dear God, thank you for choosing Robin and I to be proud parents of Asher. We give thanks daily for the privilege of watching him grow and mature. Well, hopefully. Asher, you are growing up to be an amazing young man. Today is one of the most significant days of your life. You have worked so hard to get here. Be proud of yourself and your huge accomplishments. I know that Mom and I are. Asher, my son, you come from a long line of caring, strong, and mensch-like men. I pray that you always carry with you the lessons Grandpa taught you in your short time together. He would be so very proud of the man you are standing before us today. like the Via Hafta says, teach them diligently to your children, one day to continue his legacy. I pray that in your personal and professional life, you always use your head but follow your heart. I pray that you continue to discover the importance of value and integrity and honesty. And most importantly, I hope that you believe in the power of your potential as much as Mom and I do. On this day, along with every other day, I am so very proud of who you are, Asher. May God watch over you today and always. May you continue to grow into someone who will strive for success in all your undertakings, find happiness and joy in your life, and stay compassionate and thoughtful of everyone just like you are now. I love you so much and could not be prouder of you, Asher Preston Burke, my son. I love you.
And now, Lador Vador, from generation to generation, the Sefer Torah and all of its teachings are passed down to our bar mitzvah, Asher. And you may be seated. And now Asher symbolically received the Torah and read from the Torah, and now has a chance to offer his own interpretation of this week's Torah portion, as Asher now presents his bar mitzvah Devar Torah.
Shabbat Shalom. Could you imagine stealing from your own brother and then having him want to kill you? I could never imagine this happening to me. In this week's Torah portion, Vayetze, Jacob stole his father's blessing from his brother Esau. Esau has now threatened to kill Jacob because of it. Jacob is scared and decides to run away. Jacob goes to Haran to his uncle Laban's house. On his way, he has a strange dream about angels going up and down a ladder. This is actually one of the most famous dreams. When Jacob gets to his uncle's house, he meets his cousin Rachel and then falls in love with her. You may wonder why this is important, so let me tell you. It is because Jacob tricked and then stole his brother's blessing from their father, and now his uncle is going to do the same to him by tricking him. His uncle tricks him by switching his beautiful cousin Rachel, which he had fallen in love with, for his not-so-good-looking cousin Leah. When I was reading my Torah portion, it was clear to me that this is a perfect example of what goes around comes around, and karma. I feel if you put good in the world, good will come back to you. If you put bad in the world, then bad will come back to you. This is what happened to Jacob. Judaism teaches us that we should be mensch-like and we should always have integrity and be honest. As Jews, it is even one of our 10 commandments. I always try to be honest and show integrity. One time, my mom had turned off my screen time on my phone, and she had forgotten to turn it back on. That night, I thought long and hard, or maybe short and fast, whether I should let it be so I could be on my phone and call friends, or I should tell my mom and do the right thing. Of course, I wanted to keep quiet. But I knew my mom would be so proud of me if I did the right thing, so I did. Had Jacob talked it out with his brother and father and done the right thing, then maybe he wouldn't have been tricked by his uncle. Maybe if Jacob had put good in the world, then good would have come back to him. I put good in the world when I did my bar mitzvah project. I wanted to make a difference and explain to people why what I did was so important to me. I created a poster and passed it out to collect money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The money I collected will help researchers find a cure for blood cancers. If you are interested in donating, it's not too late. This is important to me because my grandpa, Jeff Burke, was diagnosed This is important to me. This is important to me because my grandpa Jeff Burke was diagnosed and died of acute myeloid leukemia, AML. It took away one of the most important people in my life. He inspired me to be the kind, good-hearted young man I am today. I raised money for LLS because I raised money for LLS because I don't want any other family to have to go through what my family went through, especially me and my sisters being so young. I'm doing my part to put good in the world. When you leave this synagogue, what will you do? There are some very special people I would like to thank that helped me make this day special. Rabbi Strauss, thank you for being at every important Jewish moment in my life. My family appreciates everything you do. Rabbi Ford, thank you for helping me with my Devar Torah. You helped make it easy for me to write. Miss Freda, you have been helping me get ready for this day for so long. Thank you so much for all the time and effort you have put in to help me prepare for today. I'll miss all of our Sunday afternoon lessons and all the candy. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Now you know why I always come home with the sugar rush. Shira, you are the best partner and made this so fun. We will always have a special bond that started when we were little. Can't wait to glow crazy tonight. Also, happy birthday. School friends, even though I can be weird sometimes, you all accept me. I love when we hang out on the weekends no matter how far the walk. I really enjoyed Halloween with all of you. Thank you for all being here today. Camp friends, my favorite place on earth is camp, but y'all make it better. No matter how much drama and breakups, we will always be a family. Aunt Sabrina, Uncle Kevin, and Uncle Jerver, I'm so glad you all came this weekend for my special day. I love all of our trips together. We always have so much fun. I look forward to our next adventure together. Jeffrey and Reed, thank God you boys came along and helped even out the numbers. Love you guys so much. Grandma, no matter how my day goes, you make me smile. I love having sleepovers at your house, and I love your pantry. I love you so much, and I'll always be your boyfriend. Sorry, Gary. Grandpa, I know you are not here today. But I know you are listening. I love you and miss you with all my heart, and I will always make you proud. Mimi, first, move back to Houston. No, seriously. I love you so much, and I love when you come into town. We always have so much fun together. Papa and Julie, I love you both so much. I enjoy our shopping sprees, dinner dates, brunches, and when I sleep over. I always have such a good time with both of you. Corey, even though we fight sometimes, I actually do like you. Love you. I'm glad you are my little sister, but don't forget, I'm always right. I love you, Coco. Riley, Mom and Dad said I had to say something nice about you. I like your dress today. Just kidding. Out of all of the big sisters, I'm glad I have you. I love when we hang out. You have really cool friends. I love you. Mom, I love you more than anything in the world. You do so much for me, and you are always there to hug me. I could not wish for anything else. You mean so much to me. I love you. Dad, thank you for always being by my side when I need you the most. I love when I come to work with you and when we go to either Texas games or Astros games. I love you so much. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Asher, for a beautiful speech. And now we have the blessing to hear you and Shara as you lay in the Haftarah. We turn to page 189. And Asher and Shara will be reading from the prophet Hosea. And Hosea recounts Jacob fleeing from his home to then building his life that we read about in our Torah portion today. So the Haftarah for Yetzeh, again, is on page 189 from the prophet Hosea. And Asher will begin with the blessing before the Haftarah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar benvim tovim v'ratzah v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'v'moshe avdo u'v'yisrael amo u'v'nvi'eh ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayivrach Yaakov Sedei Aram Vaya'avod Yisrael Be'isha Uvisha Shamar Uvenavi Ha'elah Adonai Et Yisrael Mitzrayim Uvenavi Nishmar His Ephraim Tamarim Vedamav Alav Yitosh Vacher Pato Yashilo Adonav Kedaber Ephraim Retet Nasahu Be-Yisrael Vaya Asham Baba'al Vayamot Ve'ata Yosifu Lechato Vaya Asu Lachem Masecha Mikaspam Kitvunam Atzabim Maaseh Harshim Kulo Lachem Hey Momrim Zohe Adam Agalim Yishakun Lachen Yiyu Kahanan Boker Vechata Mashkim Cholech Kemot Yesoer Migoren Uch Ashan Me'aruba Ve'anohi Adonai Elohecha Me'eretz Mitzrayim Velohi Zilati Lo Teda Umoshia Ayin Bilti Ani Yedaticha Bamidbar Be'eretz Tal Uvot Kimar Itam Vayisba'u Sav'u Vayaram Libam Alken Shechechuni Va'ehi Lachem Kemoshacha Kenamer Al Derech Ashur.
Efgeshem Kedov Shakul Ve'ekra Sigor Libam Ve'ochem Sham Kelevi Hayat Hasada Tevakem Shihatcha Yisrael Kivi Ve'ezracha Ehi Malkecha Efo Ve'yoshiacha Bechol Arecha Ve'shovtecha Asher Amarta Tenali Melech Ve'sarim Etain Lecha Melech Be'api Ve'ekat Ve'evrati Zarur Avon Ephraim Tsefuna Hatato Hevle Yoleda Yavo Ulo Huvain Lo Chacham Ki E Lo Yamod B'mishbar Banim Miyad She'ol Eftem Mimavet Egalem Ehi Devarecha Mavet Ehi Kotavcha She'ol Noham Yisater Me'enai Ki Hu Benachim Yafri Yavo Kadim Ruach Adonai Mimi Bar Oleb Veyevosh Mekaro Veyeherav Mayano Hu Yishseh Otsar Kol Kali Hemdav Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Sor kol haolamim Tzadik bechol hadorot Ha'el ha'ne'eman Ha'omer ve'oseh Hamdaber kayem Shekol devarav Emet v'tzedek Ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu V'ne'emanim devarecha Vedvar echad midvarecha achor lo yashuv rekam ki al melech ne'eman verachaman ata baruch ata Adonai ha'el ha'ne'eman bechol devarav Rachem al Tzion ki hi beit hayenu vela uluvat nefesh toshia bimchera ve'amenu Baruch Atah Adonai Mesameach Tzion Bevanecha
Samheinu Adonai Eloheinu Be'eliachu Hanavi Avdecha Uvmalchut Beit David Mishichecha Bimhera Yavo Ve'yagel Libenu Al Kiso Lo Yeshev Zar Ve'lo Yanhilu Od Acherim Et Kivodo Ki v'shem kad shecha nishbata lo shelo yichbene ro le'olam va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Magen David Al HaTorah ve'al Havodah ve'al Hanvi'im ve'al Yom HaShabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod le'tifaret Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach varhim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol hai tamid leolam va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
And please now join us as the cantor leads us in Siman Tov U'Mazel Tov.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, 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 Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov,
And now, please join me in the cantor and a blessing of thanksgiving. As we thank God for reaching this moment, a blessing of Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Blessed you, Lord our God, King yours, who's kept us in life, sustained us, and allowed us to reach this very special day. And let us say, Amen. And now we call upon our head Gabbai, Alan Levin, to lead us in a prayer for the United States and Israel.
Almighty God on high, omnipotent King, look down from your heavenly abode and bless the United States of America. May our leaders strive to establish justice and opportunity for all, and may they be successful in bringing peace to the family of nations. May your favor rest upon our beloved state of Israel, its land, and all those who dwell therein. Protect Israel from war and hatred, and may our Jewish state bring comfort to those who seek refuge, light to those who dwell in darkness, and new hope to all humanity. We ask your blessings upon the valiant servicemen and women of the American military forces and the Israel Defense Forces, who risk their lives to protect the welfare of all your creation. Be their shelter and fortress, and do not allow them to falter. Fill their hearts with faith and courage. Protect them on land, in the air, and on the sea. Guide them in peace, lead them toward peace, and return them speedily to their families alive and unharmed. And let us all together say, Amen.
Thank you, Alan. And now we call upon our B'nai Mitzvah to lead us in the Ashrei prayers. We return to our prayer books, and we turn to page 181.
Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, Od Yehallelu Selah. Tehillah LeDavid, Aramim HaElohai HaMelech, Va'avracha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Gadol Adonai Umhulal Me'od, Ve'li Gdulato Ein Heker. Hadar Kevod Hodecha, Ve'divrei Niflotecha Asicha. Zecher Rav Tuv HaYabiu, Ve'tzid Kat HaYeranenu. Tov Adonai Lakol, V'rahamav Al Kol Ma'asav. Kevod Malchut HaYomeru, Uvurat HaYedaberu. Malchut HaMalchut Kol Olamim, Umemshaltecha Bechol Dor Vador. Einechol Elecha Yesaberu, Ve'ata Noten Lachem Et Ochlam Be'ito. Sadiq Adonai Bechol Derahav, Ve'hasid Bechol Ma'asav. Ritzon Yereav Ya'aseh, Ve'et Shavatam Yishma V'yoshiem. Tehillat Adonai Yedaber Pi, Vivarech Kol Basar Shem Kodsho Le'olam Va'ed, Va'anachnu Nevarech Yah, Me'ata V'yad Olam. Hallelujah.
Now, just as we had an opportunity to hear from Asher, it's our pleasure now to hear from Shira, as she offers her own interpretation of this week's Torah portion, as Shira delivers her bat mitzvah Devar Torah.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining me in celebrating this special occasion. My Torah portion, Vayetze, comes from the book of Genesis and focuses on Jacob, our forefather, as a grown man. But to understand this parsha, you have to look at his story from the beginning. When they were children, Jacob tricked his brother Esau into selling him his birthright for a bowl of lentil stew. Esau, back from hunting, was so hungry he thought he would die. Jacob said he'd give him some food he'd just made in exchange for his birthright. That meant inheriting twice as much as Jacob. Esau, who was so hungry he couldn't think, agreed. When they were older, Jacob deceived his father and thus Esau into giving him Esau's firstborn blessing. A familiar story. Jacob pretends to be Esau and tricks their elderly blind father into giving him Esau's firstborn's blessing. Esau gets his own blessing when Isaac realizes the mistake, but it's definitely not as good. Then the Torah tells us, now Esau harbored a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing which his father had given him. And Esau said to himself, let but the mourning period of my father come, and I will kill my brother Jacob. Jacob was rightfully scared that Esau was going to kill him after taking their father's blessing from him. That's all the backstory to my Parsha, Vayetze, but it's important to know going forward. In Vayetze, we see that Jacob ran away to Haran because he rightfully feared his brother Esau's vengeance. On his journey to Haran, Jacob has a dream of angels ascending and descending a stairway. This is one of the most famous dreams in all literature. Once Jacob got to Haran, he met the beautiful Rachel. He fell in love with her instantly. The Torah says, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, he kissed her and broke into tears. The rabbinic commentator, Sephorno, says that he cried because he regretted not meeting her sooner. He really fell in love at first sight. So he wanted to marry her right away. Laban, Jacob's uncle and Rachel's father, agreed to let him marry Rachel if Jacob worked for him for 7 years. But after Jacob's 7 years of labor, this time it was Jacob's turn to be tricked. Laban deceived Jacob into marrying his oldest daughter Leah instead of Rachel, the woman he labored 7 years to marry. Jacob then had to agree to work another 7 years to marry Rachel. I'm sure Jacob felt angry and frustrated. Do you think it occurred to him that Esau must have felt the same way when his birthright and blessing were stolen from him? I don't, because it's clear that Jacob was only focused on himself, which was the problem in the first place. The Torah teaches that Laban deceived Jacob, just as Jacob deceived Esau, so that we learn that we should treat others how we want to be treated. Life is full of many examples of treating others the way you want to be treated. For example, I share a Jack and Jill bathroom with my sister. Because neither of us wants the other to walk in on each other, we lock the bathroom door. This leads to the other having to go through one of our rooms to unlock the door. We start yelling at each other, and then we both get in trouble for locking the bathroom door. Both of us locking our bathroom doors is an example of treating others the way you would like to be treated. The Torah teaches that Laban deceived Jacob, just as Jacob deceived Esau, so that we learn that we should treat others the way how we want to be treated. Going forward, we should all think more about how the Torah teaches us that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. Consider it an investment in your future. There are so many people who have helped me get to this special moment. Thank you to Freda and all the rabbis and canners that helped me learn and write all that I needed to know for my special day. Thank you to all my friends from school for coming and celebrating with me. I couldn't ask for a better group of friends. To all my camp friends, thank you for coming out here for my special day. Camp is my absolute favorite place on earth, and I can't wait to spend more summers with y'all. Grammy, hey you, Dee Dee, and Papa, thank you for all the fun experiences we've done together. I can't wait for my fun with you guys, and I love y'all so much. Aunts, uncles, and cousins, thank you for making all of our family trips so much fun and interesting. Lila, I love how all your funny faces leave me laughing, and I know I may not act like it, but I really do love you. Eli, I love hanging out with you either on the trampoline or when we play volleyball together. Dad, thank you for pushing me to always do my best, whether it's in sports, school, or helping me learn everything for today. I couldn't ask for a better dad. Mom, I love hearing you cheer at my sports events and everything I do. You're my #1 supporter, and I love you so much. Asher, thank you for being the best Hebrew buddy I could have asked for. I can't wait to celebrate with you later tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Sheriff, for a beautiful Devar Torah. And what a beautiful day this has been for Ryan and Heidi as they've seen their daughter Shira become a bat mitzvah. And now before the open ark, they offer their parents' prayers. Please rise.
Shira, as we stand here with you before God, family, and friends, we feel so incredibly blessed to be your parents. There doesn't seem to be a word that can adequately articulate the pride we have in you. Suffice it to say, it's a lot. 13 years ago today, although not until much later tonight, you took your time entering the world with your tiny body and full head of jet black hair. Becoming your parents changed our lives for the better, and we are thankful God chose us as your parents. From very early on, despite what I may have thought at the time, you needed very little pushing from us to be a successful baby, eating and sleeping and following your schedule beautifully. As a toddler, you shared toys nicely at playgroups, you learned your colors and letters with ease, and you adjusted to your early childhood programs seamlessly. Once in elementary school, you continued this trajectory. I joke that I never knew what you were doing in school because you always came home with great grades, did any homework without complaint. You have tackled middle school and most recently your bat mitzvah studies in that same focused and self-motivated way, mastering your prayers without us hearing a word of it until rehearsals. That's not to say life has been all sparkles and rainbows to this point. Along with the ups in life, you have had some downs and challenges, which you have handled with maturity and grace most of the time. Shira, we pray that you continue to journey through life with a sense of ease and drive, always knowing that we will be here for you, cheering the loudest for you for the sparkles and rainbows, and here with the biggest hug, listening ear, or even a silent presence for the not-so-sparkly times.
Watching you grow into the young lady you are today has been one of our greatest joys. While many people might think you are shy, those of us lucky enough to truly know you know that that couldn't be farther from the truth. Your smile and laughter light up a room. You are a great friend, caring, empathetic, and protective. Through the years, we have been told by teachers and your friends how compassionate you are. You are a leader among your peers and your siblings. While they might not always agree, you're a wonderful big sister to Eli and Lila. They look up to you and love when you get loose and get silly with each other, play games together, or teach them something new. Shira, we pray that you continue to be quiet leader that you are, setting a good example for those around you. Your life has been rich in tradition and family, setting the foundation for you to form your own Jewish identity. From weekly Shabbat dinners with our family and celebrating holidays following the traditions of our ancestors, to teaching you about tzedakah, charitable giving, and tikkun olam, doing our part to repair the world, you have been working toward becoming a bat mitzvah long before your formal studies began. Your summers at Jacob's Camp have not only given you lifelong friends, many of whom have traveled to be here with you today, they have and will continue to give you opportunities to learn more about our faith and culture and what it means to you. We pray that you continue to embrace your Jewish identity, learning and finding new meanings with each stage of life.
Even though we wish time would slow down, we are in awe of who you are today and can't wait to see what wonders your future will bring. We love you to the moon and back with all of our hearts.
And now, Lador Vador, from generation to generation, the Sefer Torah and all of its teachings are passed down to our bat mitzvah, Shira.
Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Adonai, ki nizkor shemo levado. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo. Tehillah l'chol chasidov, lifnei Israel am kerolvo. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Good Shabbos, everyone, and you may be seated. As a big football fan, I thought and assumed that I knew everything about one of the greatest football players of all time, Tom Brady, about all his Super Bowls, about all his MVP seasons, about his move to Tampa, of course, his recent divorce. But what I found very interesting is something I recently read. Some of you may know that Tom Brady has 3 children, a son, Jack, and a daughter, Vivi, and a youngest son named Benny. Now, being one of the greatest football players of all time, I just assumed that all 3 of his children loved sports. And 2 of them do. His son, Jack, his oldest son, hopes to be a great football player like his dad one day. His daughter, Vivi, also plays sports. But I found it fascinating that his son, Benny, has absolutely no interest in sports at all. None. No interest in playing any sports. And years ago, Brady admitted that he had difficulty coming to grips that his son, Benny, had no interest in sports. Brady, like any good parent, assumed that his love and his passion for what he loves, the game of football, would be passed down to all of his children. And I think in many ways, those of us who are parents do the same. No matter the interest, no matter the hobby, if we love football or basketball, baseball or golf, theater or music, we assume that our children will feel the same. But often I find that we look for our children not only to like the interests and hobbies that we enjoy, but also to do something else for us, to live out our dreams. When we adults were kids, we had big dreams. We spent our childhood and adolescence absorbing wonderful stories of adventure, heroes, and fantasies, and we dream, like all children should. We dream of achieving the highest ideals of our fantasy life, of being president, landing on the moon, or becoming a star. We imagine ourselves one day as wealthy or famous or wise, venerating a galaxy of admired adults. We imagine ourselves as one of them, as one of the best. In the fantasies of children, life has no end, possibilities, no limit. And we're not alone in spinning those dreams. Children dream, but they do so with the active consent and encouragement of their parents, grandparents, teachers, and a supporting cast of thousands. And all of us, when we were children, we dreamed. But then the reality sits in. We may have good lives, happy with our lot in life. We may feel accomplished in our careers, but who doesn't have unfulfilled dreams? Hopes that just never panned out. We may love to follow pro football, but we never came close to playing past middle school. We may be good at what we do in our careers, but very few people outside of our community know who we are. We may have a nice house, drive a nice car, but we'll never be featured on lifestyles of the rich and famous. So too often, we look to our children or even our grandchildren to fulfill all of our unaccomplished dreams. Often I see parents who drive their children to the ballet and music classes, to the ballparks, and urge them on with their science projects and SAT prep classes, not for the children, but they do it with the hope that they will become what they dreamed of and gave up. If we could not grow up to become Nobel laureates, our children must. Let them become business magnates like we couldn't, or nominees for the Hall of Fame. Often without even becoming aware of our own fantasies, we impose them on our children. Parents with great kids, well-behaved, kind, hardworking, but it's not enough, because the parents are hoping their children will fulfill the dreams they could not. We make peace with our own limitations, concede to reality only by shifting the object of our endless ambition. I won't ever be a concert pianist, but my children might. And this pattern of reality disappointing one generation, causing them to transfer their hopes and dreams onto the next generation, is as old as humanity itself. My teacher, Rabbi Brad Artson, points out the following in our Torah reading today. Leah realizes that her husband Jacob doesn't love her as much as he loves his other wife, her sister Rachel. Imagine the pain. In wrestling with that pain, the anger and the disappointment of rejection, lonely in the face of her husband's disinterest, Leah is the one with tremendous hopes. In the depths of her cries, she pines a passion that she would never know. And she does so through her sons. Each of her 4 sons, one after another, embodies yet another desperate attempt to win over her husband's love. Each one is therefore loved not for himself, not for being a beautiful infant. Instead, her sons represent hope deferred and aspiration transferred. And she shows this by choosing names which reflect her own experiences. Leah uses the naming of her children to work through her desperation to get her husband Jacob to finally notice her. Her firstborn, Reuben, which means, look, a son, or look at my affliction, or even let him love me finally. She then bears her second son, Shimon, meaning, because the Lord heard that I was unloved and has given me this one also. And then her third son, Levi, which means my husband will become attached to me finally, for I have borne him 3 sons. Imagine giving your children names not for who they are or who they may become, but for your own grief, for the hope of getting your spouse to finally notice you. And each one of these boys embodies yet another cry of pain and of grief, another unsuccessful attempt to win the affection of her husband Jacob. Interestingly enough, all these 3 sons, as adults, disappoint and anger their father, producing tragedy for the aged patriarch. Should we not be surprised? It's hard to turn out okay if our parents are constantly putting their own hopes and dreams on us. And I see it often, from generation to generation. Children with all the stresses that our young deal with today, the children who have to deal with the extra burden of parents who put all of their hopes and dreams on them instead of loving them for who they are. I think over the years, I've become a better parent, or tried to become a better parent, because I finally realized it's not about me. It's not about my unfulfilled dreams or the hopes that I haven't accomplished yet and putting them on my 3 children. It's about letting them live out their lives for who they are, letting them live out their dreams, not my dreams. And Leah finally gets it. Finally, with the birth of her 4th son, Judah, she achieves that great inner strength that we admire Leah for today. And she gets that inner strength to stop craving for her husband's approval. She no longer lusts after his concern. She's able to stand on her own, and she shows it by naming her 4th son Judah, which means this time I shall praise the Lord. With her 4th child, Leah gives up the hopes of changing Jacob. Instead, she has a son, and it's about him and his dreams. She comes to recognize her own worth independent of the esteem of her husband Jacob. And while grieved by his rejection, she accepts the reality of the present without having to impose her dreams on her 4th son. Eventually, Tom Brady also came to grips that not all of his children were going to like sports. Brady was quoted as saying he finally was able to grow as a father when he realized that his son Benny just liked different things, and that was okay. And their father-son relationship improved when he let his son dictate what he wanted to do. My friends, on this Shabbat of this Torah portion, my charge for all of us is the following. For those of us who are blessed to be parents or grandparents, in our own lives, we too will face disappointments and the need to relinquish our childhood ambitions and dreams? And like Leah, can we grow to accept ourselves and reality without saddling the next generation, our children, with the unrealized fantasies of their parents? And only then are we in a position to truly praise, to truly thank, and to truly love our children for exactly who they are. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And we're now ready to go to the last third of our service as we begin the Musaf section, and we rise page 184.
Kadosh Shemei Rabba Amen Be'amal Divrah Hirutei Ve'amlich Malchutei V'chayechon Uvyon Mechon Uv'chayedecho Be'Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv Ve'imeru Amen Ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imeru amen amen yehesh meraba mevorach le'alam umame amaya yitbarach ve'yit kadosh ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit romam ve'yit Naseh ve'yit hadar ve'yit haleh ve'yit halal shemei dekudesha brechu le'elam mikol birchata ve'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da amiram be'alma ve'imeru amen Ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru amen, amen.
And we now continue together with the Musaf Amidah, page 185.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'anora, El Elyon, Komel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot, U'mevii Goel Livnei V'neihem, למען שמו באחווה, מלך חוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח מוריד הגשם, מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, תומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ולמתיר אסורים, ולמקיים אמונתו, אישי ליעפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ולמי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחייב, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. נעריץ זכר ונעבדי אישך, כסוד שיח, שרפי קודש יאי המקדישים שמך בקודש, יא לילה 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 קרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו, כבודו מלא עולם, משרתיו שואלים זה לזה, איה מקום כבודו, לאומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו הוא יפן ברחמים, ויכון עם המייחדים שמו ערב ובוקר בכל יום תמיד, ערב ובוקר בכל יום תמיד, פעמיים ברחבה שמה אומרים, שמה ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו, שהנית לעיני כל חי, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ובדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ינמוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול, מלך גדול, וקדוש אתה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ברוך אתה
We now continue silently, page 189 through page 192. And as you finish your prayers, you may be seated. And as the cantor continues with V'al Kulam, page 190.
Page 203, Kadishalem. Yid kanavit kanashemei rabba, be'almati v'rachirotei, ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'imachon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'agalav yizman kari v'yimeru, amen, yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam olam me'avaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitroma v'yidaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalosh, shemei dekodesha. Brichule alem chavi chata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiron ve'alma ve'imeru, amen. Titkabat l'adahon uve'tencho Yisrael, kodam abuhu nevi shmaya ve'imeru, amen. Yehi shlavan abba min shmaya, v'chayim ani neve'oko Yisrael ve'imeru, amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kamoshienu, No Del Eloheinu, No Del Adonenu, No Del Emalkeinu, No Del Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Ata hishitiru avotenu lefanecha et ketor hasamim.
So Sharon Asher, Mazel Tov, on a beautiful, beautiful job this morning and leading us in prayer. And today, in celebration of your great Simcha, we're happy to bring you some wonderful gifts. A beautiful tzedakah box from Beth Yeshurun Sisterhood, a Kiddush cup from 100 Jewish men, a gift certificate to one of our local kosher restaurants, a gift certificate to the Evelyn Rubenstein Jewish Community Center, a $100 State of Israel bond, courtesy of the AI and Minette Shep's Israel Bonding Fund, and of course, a certificate of bar and bat mitzvah. I love that not only did you do a lot to prepare for this day and this service, but you also gave back to the community. Shara, you, for your mitzvah project, you did a bake sale to raise funds to donate needed items to the Houston SPCA, and you're giving 10% of your monetary gifts to Dream Street, a 5-day, 4-night camping program for children with disabilities that's held at Jacobs Camp. And Asher, you helped raise money for your mitzvah project for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in honor of your grandfather, Jeff Burke. I know he's with us in spirit today, and how happy he must be for the job you're doing. And you'll be giving 10% of your monetary gifts to the wonderful program Count Me In to give Hanukkah gifts to those families who are in need. I know it's been a real joy for all of us to see you become a bar mitzvah today, and it's been for me as well. I've literally seen the two of you grow up. I was at your bris, and I was at your baby naming. I got to officiate at both. Sure, I was at your parents' wedding, officiated at their wedding back in Lake Charles years ago. And it was a beautiful day, and I've seen you grow up to be these incredible young people. And so I want to spend just a moment sharing a little bit about each of you and what makes you so special to me and to so many people in this congregation and your families. Asher, your parents have always said that you have the biggest heart of anyone they've ever met. You're kind, sensitive, and sweet, and you make them proud to be your parents. You like being with your many friends and just love to be silly and laugh, and you're always making sure others feel included. You're easygoing and can make the best of any situation. You're passionate about what you believe in, and you often stand up for what is right. And that heart that you have allows you to think of others, never wanting to hurt feelings of other people. You're inclusive and caring, and it shows in so many of your relationships. You love going to sleepaway camp, Green Family Camp, and being with your camp friends during the summer. And you're always willing to try new things, new foods, new adventures, and new sports, including lacrosse and track and field. And most importantly, you work hard in school and make good grades. Asher, I recently asked you, what does this whole day mean? And you told me, Rabbi, it shows that I am proud to be Jewish, and I'm unafraid to express my Jewish identity and to show why my Judaism is important to me. And that really is the blessing your parents and grandparents and those who've gone before you have given you. And now it's up to you to live that out. And I'm confident because of the young man you become that you will for many years. And I look forward to seeing that happen. Mazel Tov, Asher. And Shara, what a beautiful day it is for you and your family. You're the first grandchild to have a bar bat mitzvah on both sides. You have 17 first cousins all together on both sides of the family. So a lot was riding on this, a lot of responsibility, right? Well, you did great. And it shows by the love that you have for what you did today and the love you have for your cousins and siblings. And you love spending time with them and your many friends. And you're a good friend and a good cousin and a good sister. Easing and accommodating, quiet and reserved from the outside. But once you're comfortable around someone, you turn into that extroverted social butterfly. You have a wonderful heart as well. Sweet, kind, giving, and compassionate. You have a good head on your shoulders who often makes good decisions. Driven and hardworking and fulfilling all of your goals. You're an honors student in 7th grade at Trafton Academy. You're a very conscientious student. You can be found spending your time studying. Your favorite class is geography. And most importantly, you're respectful and helpful. You were active in competitive gymnastics for many years at the JCC. And when you were done with that, you quickly picked up volleyball and track at school, and you've excelled in both. And you're also on the cheer team at school. And during the summers, you enjoy going to Jacobs Camp. And you've developed very special friendships there. And many are here this weekend, as your Green Family Camp friends are here as well. And Shara, we're honored to welcome the camp director from Camp Jacobs, Anna Herman, and her husband, who are with us today at Beth Yeshurun. I recently asked you, Shara, what does this all mean, becoming a bat mitzvah? And you said, Rabbi, it reminds me of the importance of accomplishing important milestones, new responsibilities, of continuing Judaism generation to generation. And as I mentioned at the very beginning of the service, you definitely symbolize that today by wearing your great-grandfather's talit, Willie Isaacs. I knew Willie well, and I know how happy he and Winnie and all those who've gone before you must be today to see you wearing that talit and coming before the congregation to become a bat mitzvah. I love the fact that the two of you have beautiful names, Hebrew names. Shara, of course, song, and Asher, which comes from happiness. And that's really my charge to the two of you today. In this Torah portion, which we read a lot about the names of those who went before us, the patriarchs and matriarchs, their children, and what those names mean. And what our names mean has a lot to do with who we become. It symbolizes who we become as Jews. And so my hope for the two of you is you always find happiness in the beauty of prayer and song and tradition in the Jewish tradition. And as you've done today and you've done for so many years of your life, you continue to find that happiness in Judaism. This means a lot to your parents. And I see it because I know them well. And I know how happy it makes them to see that Judaism also means a lot to you. So continue to take all that Judaism, continue to come to classes, come to Beth Yeshurun, go to Green Family Camp and Jacob's Camp, and all the things that make Judaism fun and exciting. And I look forward to seeing it happen. Mazel tov, Shara, on a beautiful job, and Asher, mazel tov as well. And now, before the open ark, the cantor and I have a chance to bless you with the priestly blessings. Please rise. May Asher and Shara continue to be a blessing to their family, the community, and the entire house of Israel. May God always bless you and keep you. May God always show you his favor and be gracious to you. May God always show you kindness and give you that great blessing of shalom always. And let us say, Amen.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol Lated gedula leotzer breshit Shelo asanu kegoye haratzot Velo samanu kemishpihot ha'adama Shelo sam helkenu kahem Vegora leinu kechol hamona Anachnu korim Umistachavim umodim Lifnei melech Malchei Hamahi Har Kadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim Ve'osei Haaretz U'Moshahi Karo B'Shamayim Ima'al Ushni Natizo Begovrei Meromim Hu Eloheinu Einon Emet Malkeinu Efes Zulato Kakatu Vetorato Ve'adatayom Ve'eshevota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hua Elohim Bashamayim Mima'al Ve'al ha'aretz Mitat ha'ein Ve'ne'emar Ve'chaya Adonai Lemelech al kol ha'aretz Bayom ha'hu Bayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad Ushemo Ushemo Echad.
You may be seated. For those who are observing a yard site, or if you are currently in mourning, I do invite you to turn to page 207 and to rise and join me for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yurtei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiram be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. You may be seated.
And just a reminder that Hanukkah starts 2 weeks from tomorrow night. And I know it's a holiday that those of us who celebrate Hanukkah look forward to every year. And at Beth Yeshurun, we'll have many opportunities to celebrate Hanukkah. We have a program for our teens, for our young adults. We have a low-sensory Hanukkah program 2 weeks from tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then 2 weeks from tomorrow, on the first night of Hanukkah at 5 p.m., we have a program for families of all ages. We'll have arts and crafts, Hanukkah activities, candle lighting, and then our second annual fireworks show out in our parking lot. So we'd love to see you at these different events as we come together as a community to celebrate Hanukkah, and of course in our homes as we celebrate the Festival of Jewish Light. At the conclusion of our service, we're all welcome to join Asher and Shira's family in the Pulaski Rouch Auditorium is to celebrate a Shabbat Kiddush, and we thank our families for doing that for all of us as we come together and wish them all Mazel Tov on this beautiful morning. And now it's my honor to invite all of Asher and Shira's friends and classmates, cousins, siblings, you're welcome to come up as well, to come up and help Asher and Shira lead the final prayers of our service. First, Adon Olam on page 211. Please rise for the Kiddush and Hamotzi.
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamarei peri hagafen. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz. I'm done.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.